Welcome back to the channel, family. Today, we're diving into a story that has left many Nigerians heartbroken, angry, and demanding answers. A young man's life was cut short in the most tragic way possible, allegedly at the hands of those sworn to protect him. His name was Mene Ogidi, a 28-year-old man in Effurun, Delta State. On April 26, 2026, what should have been an ordinary day turned deadly. Reports indicate that officers from the area command in Effurun, led by ASP Usman Nuhu, fatally shot Mene, who was described as unarmed. This incident has gone viral for all the wrong reasons. Social media exploded with videos and calls for justice. Some posts even claimed soldiers stepped in to apprehend the officer involved, but official updates tell a different, more structured story. In this video, we're going to walk through the events step by step. What we know, what the police have said, the actions already taken by the Inspector General of Police, and why this matters for every Nigerian. We'll keep it factual, respectful, and focused on the bigger picture: accountability, public trust, and preventing future tragedies. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We cover important stories like this with balance and depth. Let's get into it. But first, a quick note. This video contains no graphic footage of the incident itself. We focus on facts, official statements, and analysis to understand what went wrong and what comes next. Delta State has seen its fair share of security challenges, but stories like this hit differently because they strike at the heart of citizen-police relations. On that fateful day, April 26, 2026, in Effurun, events unfolded quickly. According to circulating reports and eyewitness accounts shared widely online, a confrontation occurred involving police officers attached to the area command. Mene Ogidi, a young man in his late 20s, ended up losing his life after being shot. Details remain sensitive as investigations continue, but the core allegation is that the shooting was unjustified. Mene was reportedly unarmed, and the use of lethal force violated standard police protocols. One officer frequently mentioned in discussions is ASP Usman Nuhu. Some earlier social media posts suggested he had a history of allegations related to excessive force, including past service with units like RRS, formerly linked to SARS concerns, and transfers due to misconduct. But we must be careful. Allegations are not convictions, and due process matters. What we do know is that public outrage spread like wildfire. Videos and posts flooded platforms, with many Nigerians expressing pain and frustration. Some demanded immediate vigilante-style justice, while others called for calm and proper legal channels. One particular video that gained traction showed what appeared to be a police officer being confronted or handled roughly, with claims it was soldiers stepping in as brothers to the victim. Comments ranged from support, like "make them feel the pain," to skepticism, questioning if the footage matched the timeline or location. But as more information emerged, official clarifications came in. The Delta State Police Public Relations Officer addressed the matter on national TV, confirming that ASP Usman Nuhu and involved officers were already in police custody shortly after the incident, not taken by soldiers but processed through the system and transferred toward Abuja for further investigation. This distinction is important. It shows the system responding, even if many feel it should have been faster or more transparent from the start. Fast forward to the latest developments. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Tunji Disu, took decisive action. He ordered the dismissal and prosecution of ASP Nuhu Usman and the team involved. The Force Disciplinary Committee reviewed the case and found the officers in gross violation of firearms regulations, specifically Force Order 237. This order governs when and how police officers may use firearms. It emphasizes proportionality, necessity, and last resort. According to the official statement, the team was swiftly transferred to Abuja. The IGP's directive underscores a zero-tolerance policy for extrajudicial actions. The officers are to face criminal charges, and the process aims to ensure accountability. This response is significant for several reasons. First, it came relatively quickly after public outcry, which suggests that viral pressure and media attention can influence institutional behavior. Second, it references specific rules, Force Order 237, reminding us that Nigeria has existing frameworks meant to prevent abuse. The challenge has often been consistent enforcement. Many Nigerians watching this will ask, is dismissal and prosecution enough? Families of victims often seek not just punishment for individuals, but systemic reform, better training, body cameras, community policing, psychological evaluation for officers, and independent oversight bodies. We've seen similar incidents in the past that led to end SARS motions and promises of reform. The question remains, will this case be different? Will it lead to lasting change, or will it fade until the next tragedy? Let's break down why these cases erode trust. When citizens feel police are more likely to harm than protect, cooperation drops. Crime fighting becomes harder. Communities withdraw. Fear replaces partnership. Rebuilding that trust requires transparency, swift justice, and visible reforms. Police brutality isn't unique to Nigeria, but in a country with 200 million people, diverse ethnic groups, and complex security threats, from banditry to cultism to urban crime, the stakes are high. On one hand, police officers face dangerous conditions daily. Many work with limited resources, poor welfare, and constant pressure. Some lose their lives in the line of duty. Their job is tough, and not every officer is corrupt or brutal. On the other hand, when power is abused, when an unarmed young man loses his life, it sends shockwaves. Families are destroyed. Communities mourn. The social contract between the state and citizens weakens. In Mene Ogidi's case, he was just 28. That's a life full of potential, dreams, family, contributions to society, snuffed out. His loved ones now face grief and the long road of seeking closure. Public reactions have been passionate. Some comments on viral posts said things like, "Justice must be done," or "make them feel every bit of it." Others warned against misinformation, noting that certain videos might be old or from unrelated events. This highlights another issue. In the age of social media, fake or misleading content can inflame tensions, distract from facts, or even undermine genuine calls for justice. We saw claims of soldiers apprehending the officer, but official channels clarified the police custody and transfer process. Accuracy matters because misinformation can lead to mob justice or erode confidence in institutions. What should justice look like here? Many advocate for full, independent investigation, prosecution in open court, compensation and support for the victim's family, review of training and recruitment, stronger internal affairs units, and community engagement programs. The IGP's order for dismissal and prosecution is a starting point, but follow-through, actual court proceedings, convictions if evidence warrants, and public reporting will determine if it's meaningful. Let's think deeper. Extrajudicial killings undermine the rule of law. Nigeria's constitution guarantees the right to life and fair hearing. When agents of the state violate that, it's not just one death, it questions the legitimacy of authority. Watch the footage circulating online, the non-graphic versions showing reactions or official statements, carefully, and you'll see the raw emotion. People are tired. They want to feel safe walking the streets without fearing those meant to protect them. Yet, solutions aren't simple. Overhauling policing requires funding, political will, cultural shifts within the force, and public cooperation. It also means addressing root causes of crime so police aren't overwhelmed. Other countries have implemented reforms like de-escalation training, mental health support for officers, civilian review boards, and technology like body-worn cameras. Could these work in Nigeria? Many experts say yes, if adapted to local realities and consistently applied. This case also raises questions about past service records. If an officer had multiple prior allegations, why were red flags not addressed earlier? Better vetting, performance tracking, and early intervention could prevent escalation. As Nigerians, we all have a role to play. Citizens must demand accountability without resorting to anarchy. Police leadership must act transparently. Government at all levels must invest in welfare, equipment, and reform. Media and social platforms should prioritize verified information. The goal isn't to demonize the entire police force. Thousands serve honorably, but to root out bad actors and build a better system. Imagine being Mene's family. One day your son or brother is alive, going about his life. The next, he's gone, and the reason is a bullet from a uniform that should symbolize safety. Grief turns to anger, anger to questions. Why? Could it have been avoided? Will anyone pay? Stories like this affect mental health across communities. Young people grow up distrusting authority. Parents worry every time their child steps out. This cycle must break. Force Order 237 is clear. Firearms are for self-defense or defense of others when there's imminent threat of death or serious injury. Shooting an unarmed person absent extreme circumstances violates this. The disciplinary committee's finding of gross violation is a strong language. It signals the force is taking it seriously at the highest level. Prosecution would move it from internal discipline to criminal court, where evidence can be tested publicly. Viral posts amplified the story, pressuring authorities. That's positive for accountability, but some content mixed timelines, reused old videos, or pushed unverified claims of soldiers arresting the officer. This can confuse the public or give ammunition to those dismissing genuine concerns as fake news farming. Always cross-check sources, official police statements, reputable news.
Now my friend, I deceive me. He just stop play, bro. He just stop play. I'm okay, my friend. I don't know anything concerned. I don't know anything concerned. I don't know anything concerned. I beg. I don't know anything concerned. I go carry you go meet something like this. I go carry you go meet the officer. I go carry you go meet the officer. Officer. I go carry you go meet the officer, man. I'll carry you go meet the officer. I don't know. Officer, I don't know. I don't know, officer. Officer, I don't know.